Good day and welcome to Business Matchmaking Demo 2021. The purpose of this video is to show you and your team both the front end and the back end access of the various participation categories, as well as how we set the event up. As mentioned, the system fully embraces virtual and physical attendees. Essentially what we would do is profile them differently, and a virtual participant would not be mapped to any resources and therefore defaults to a video call. The system will also show you how we manage the different meeting venues and the different meeting permissions. We set up the demo more or less in the same way as Mining Indaba 2020. However, the system is very dynamic, so we look forward to your ideas on 2021. Just a quick look at the front end. This is essentially the profile form or the profile page that a delegate would be seeing on the front end. This look and feel may not be yours. We just created it because the Africa Mining Indaba logo on its own just seemed a bit bland. Essentially, just like the item system, you'll view your profile, your matchmaking report, your calendar. If we integrate the conference program, it'll be sitting over here. The profiling form looks a bit different because we've created it differently, but it's very dynamic and we can make it anything that you would like. Essentially for this one, we've created 4 different tabs: about your company, about yourself, your industries and your targets. So here a general delegate would be having fields such as your normal mining and Indaba sectors and targeted sectors, where your mining companies would fill in their specific types of information and your investors would fill in theirs. All this information essentially would be pre-populated through the API. And the last field is your company media and uploads. This is where a participant can add a company logo, a profile picture of themselves, any kinds of brochures, financial documents, etc. can all be uploaded here. Just to quickly take you into the admin side, which is the back end, show you how we set up the profiling fields, which essentially shows you who can see which fields on the front end and what kind of matchmaking filters we're looking at. It'll also give you a bit of an overview of the participation categories and how we map those, as well as the general matchmaking setup and the resource management. This is the admin side of things. The properties page is really where we just complete information, your dates, the times of the events, the different types of banners that you want us to load. If it's a virtual and a physical event or just a virtual event, the email, the support information and the registration information as far as the dates and the times that the registration opens and closes for the API, and the dates and the times of the actual event. The list management is where we add in all the different types of lists that we need to link to data fields. So we have the job level, which is one of the lists that was sent to us. And essentially what this does is we link this list to a data field as a drop down, and the participant selects which job level they are, which job function they are. The mining and Indaba industries. For the purpose of the demo, we've just added in 2 mining exploration companies. This is the parent-child link, so the main sector and the subsectors. We've also just created the one main sector of investment and financial services with the subsectors that go underneath that. The different types of commodities. These fields are obviously only linked to the mining companies and investors, the listing type, the exchange, development stage, ticket size, and typical investment financial structures. So that's where we add in all the different lists. Just going to quickly take you to the participant category page. So this is where we create your different participants: a mining company, investment delegates, general delegates, exhibitors, exhibiting companies, junior mining companies, speakers and sponsors. Once we've created these participation categories, we then link them essentially to be able to say who can meet with them. So in this case, the mining company can meet with investors, different types of delegates, exhibitors, exhibiting companies, speakers and sponsors. An investor could do the same. However, a general delegate, for instance, would not be able to meet with an investor. So we do not link them here. A general delegate would also not be able to link with a mining company. So that's essentially how we create the participation categories and limit them on who they can meet. The form manager, this is the profile page that I showed you on the front end. So as I say, these are the different pages that we've created. We can create more pages, less pages. We can preview what the system looks like, and we can differentiate these different headers as to whatever you like. If you would like to have personal details first or call it something else, we're able to do that. Company name, just to show you quickly, we create the data field. We decide on the display of it. We work out what kind of field it is. Is it text? Is it a drop down? Is it a checkbox, radio file? Is it a URL, etc.? And we link it to key information in our system that allows us to link up for emails, etc. Participation categories that get this question on their matchmaking, their profile, and this particular field, company name, this is a filter on the matchmaking report, and we can say who sees that on the front end on the matchmaking report. We can say whether it's a required field, an editable field, is it visible in the profiling form, is it visible on the public participant's profile, is it visible for us on the back end, is it searchable in the matchmaking report. So we go and we add as many fields as we need to add to cover all the bases. And the industries and related, you've got your normal mining and Indaba sectors, which is the field that I showed you previously. We've linked it as a checkbox to that particular data field. And we say, yes, this is a participant category that question that everybody gets to see on their profiling form, and everybody can get to look at and filter on the matchmaking report. However, if we start looking at mining company-specific questions or investor-specific questions, this is where we differentiate. You can see these questions. So this is a checkbox that links to your commodity list, which I showed you earlier on. It is a mining company search group. Participants categories that see this field are your mining companies and your junior mining companies. Your investors get to filter on this field on the matchmaking report. So this is how we run through the list to work out who sees which data fields are applicable to them, and which fields are filters on the matchmaking report. On the management, this is where we match the different sectors to each other. So for instance, mining and Indaba sectors and their targeted sectors. We have linked mining exploration companies with mining exploration companies. Mining is a major mining company, who we would link them to. Investment, merchant banking, private equity, finance, banking, and submit. And that creates the mapping. And we would do this with each one of these different categories. This one we haven't created as yet. So exploration companies, who they would be mapped to. Listing types, listing commodities. Commodities, what we've done is we've really linked them like for like. This assists with the matchmaking on the front end. We would run through all of these lists and make sure that we have linked the main categories together, as well as all the values within those categories together. This resource management is a little bit complicated. This is really creating the groups, which is the areas that people can meet. So one group is the business matchmaking lounge, the other is the exhibitor stand, and the other is the investor lounge. So that is a group. Then we create the resources within each of those groups, which is really the table. So we've worked out business matchmaking table 1 to 45, investor table 1 to 30, and we'll also link over here all the different exhibitor stands. Then we map who can meet where. against their participation categories. An exhibitor organises a meeting and invites a general delegate, meets at the stand. A general delegate, which meets an exhibitor, meets at their stand. A junior mining company, which is meeting an investor, meets in the investor lounge. And so we run through, you can create new mappings over here, so we work out participant category, inviting which participant category, and where that default meeting location would be. Other aspects as part of the setup are different types of meeting slots where we generate them there. The mail management, we've got defaults, automatic emails that are sent out, but we can create new ones. Matchmaking engine is working out the weighting and the index, and this is how we upload participant data. So if we have to upload your exhibitors, we would do it over here. Okay, so that's a quick overview. Based on the rules and how we've set things up in the back end, I just wanted to show you a little bit on the participants' profile. So this is a junior mining company. So essentially we would have those mining Indaba sectors, we would have the commodities, and then we would have the specific questions that are related to a mining company, such as their fundraising, their funding value, listing type. These questions are only going to be shown on the junior mining company profile. An investor profile would have investor-related questions. As you can see, all the different investor-related questions appear on his profiling form on the front end as we set up on the back end. Matchmaking filters per participation category. This is an investor's page. So he would get the general filters that he can use on the matchmaking report. And then he also gets the mining company specific filters. As we've set up on the back end, he would like to select which kinds of mining companies he would like to meet. And any of these filters, as you saw on the back end, are editable, changeable, and we can set them up any which way you'd like. This is the mining company. He will see the general filters as well on the matchmaking report, as well as the filters related to the investors. This is a general delegate. He will only see the general questions. He will not see any information about investors or mining companies. Relating to the default meeting locations by participation categories as set up. This is a meeting between a junior mining company and investor. Default to the meeting table, first available meeting table at the specific time. This is meetings between a general delegate and an exhibitor. This defaults to the exhibitor stand, which is B12. There's also another meeting over here between a mining company and a general delegate. It defaults to the business matchmaking lounge, which is table number 1. This is mining company's meetings. If he's meeting a general delegate, it defaults to the business matchmaking lounge, table number 1. If he's meeting an investor, it defaults to the investor lounge, meeting table number 1. In conclusion, this really just gives you a bit of a summary as to everything that we can set up. As you can see on the back end of the system, it's very customizable. Every field that I've created there, I've created, so it's not that it's there already and we can't change it. We can change the name of it, we can change the type of data fields, etc., as well as any of those meeting permissions against any different types of participation categories that you may be looking at for 2021. We look forward to your strategy so we can brainstorm this in a lot more detail. Thank you.